Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the Arkansas Realtor YouTube channel. I am so glad that you are here. And you may wonder, what are you doing here? This is a brand new channel. There's hardly any content on it, and I'm glad you asked. I have started the process of becoming a real estate agent in the state of Arkansas, which is where I live, and I am simply going to document my journey from thinking about becoming a real estate agent and then putting that all into practice and documenting everything that happens from now until I stop doing real estate. So my goal is hopefully to help some of you who may be thinking about becoming a realtor, and maybe you can follow my journey and kind of see and learn some things. And as I learn some things, because let me tell you, I am not a professional. I am still in the very early stages myself of becoming a real estate agent, but I hope this helps. And if you are a seasoned real estate agent, or maybe even have been in it, just begun your journey as well, or somewhere in between, I'd love for you to drop me a comment and help me be encouraged along this journey. I know it can be difficult, but there are people out there I know that will encourage you along the way, and that's what I hope to do here on this channel. So today's episode is we're going to be talking about the school that you need to go through, or that you should go through, because you get to choose. That is the beautiful thing about this. Most of you will have a choice about the school that you do. However, each state has different requirements. For example, in Arkansas, we have to go through 60 hours of Arkansas-approved pre-licensing education. So basically, we have to go to class. We have to listen. We have to study. We have to learn. We have to know things. And we have to have 60 hours before we can ever take our exams. Now, when it comes to the school that you choose, in Arkansas, the school that I chose had to have been from an Arkansas Real Estate Commission approved school. In other words, the Arkansas Real Estate Commission had to approve the school that I went through. Otherwise, the schooling I went through wouldn't have counted, and therefore I wouldn't have been able to take my exam. So that is very important, that when you choose your school, it must be an accredited school for your particular state and your real estate commission. After the 60-hour coursework, we in Arkansas are required to pass both a national real estate exam and a state real estate exam. And I think it's like that in many states as well. You need to check on your state to see what you are required to do. And then there is some post-licensing education that must take place, and that just goes with the territory. You'll have to do that yearly. I can't really say that. I'm not there yet. I don't know, but I don't think it's as intense as the 60-hour coursework. However, I am finished with my 60-hour coursework, and I'm going to tell you the school that I went to or through, and hopefully you can find a school that you like as well. Now, the first thing that you need to think about when you are choosing your real estate school is this: you must meet the criteria of your state. You must meet the criteria for your state. It has to be a state-approved school. That is non-negotiable. One of the things that you need to look in when you're finding these state-approved schools, I would encourage you to read the reviews. Read about their reputation. Read about the people who have taken the exam after going through their coursework. Did they have trouble with it? Did they learn and pass the exams? How many times did it take them to pass the exams? That's something that I'm learning, that many real estate agents can pass it on the first try, but there's also a lot of other real estate agents who take a couple of times to pass the real estate exam. And we'll talk about that when we get to the video about the exams specifically. But you also need to think about your learning style, because there are options. There are options to go in person in many states, that you can go in person and get a live teacher there in front of you, teaching you and helping you understand the material that is needed on the test or the exams. Or many of you might might like to go at your own pace and do online coursework and take as long as you want to finish that coursework or as fast as you want to finish that coursework. So you need to think about that. Do you want to do online or do you want to do in person when it comes to your school? Something that you need to look into when it comes to choosing a school is the exam prep and practice tests that they may provide. Are those going to help you? Again, that's when you can utilize those reviews under the Google search or Facebook search even. Anywhere you can search these schools, you're probably going to find reviews somewhere. So make sure that you spend some time looking at that as far as the exam prep. How are they going to help you? And do they offer practice tests? Because that is very important. Something else you may want to ask yourself when it comes to the criteria for choosing a school is the instruction quality. Can you get a gauge on how they are teaching, how this is going to teach you? Do they have an example? Or do they have something that will show you what you're going to learn, how it's going to look, kind of the flow of the coursework, whatever the case may be? But think about the instruction quality. Here's a big one that really came into play for me, and I'll tell you why. But the price versus value. You can get something very cheap, and it's just going to be, you're going to get what you pay for, essentially. And you can take that and pass the test. That might be something that fits you, but you may want a little more bang for your buck. So really look at the different options out there and look at the value versus the price. Again, post-license and continuing education options. Do those schools offer that post-licensure education that you're likely going to need depending on the state that you're in? So those are a few ways to just kind of examine each school and the criteria that I think is important when choosing a school. And now let's talk about the types of schools that are out there. Now, obviously, you have some state-specific schools that you can go to in person. For example, here in Arkansas, we have the Arkansas Real Estate School that you can go to in person. There's the Lindsay School of Real Estate, Fortune Academy, and any sort of school that you find that still falls under the Arkansas Real Estate Commission or the commission for your state. If they are an accredited school, you can go in person. You can search those out. There are plenty of options. But many people like the online version. They like to be able to go at their own pace. They like to be able to set their own hours and their own time that they are studying and doing these things. And there are many online schools out there that will really help. There are the Colibri Real Estate School. There's Aceable Agent, the CE Shop, McKissick Learning, 360 Training Agent Campus, and then another one, Kaplan Real Estate Education. Now, all of these are going to be online at your pace. So again, you need to research these schools. But the school that I chose was actually the last one I just mentioned. It's Kaplan Real Estate Education. And let me tell you why I chose Kaplan. I was comparing Kaplan to the CE Shop at the time. Now, things change, sales happen, things are different depending on what type of the year, what part of the year you're in, what's going on right now. We're in Christmas, right after Thanksgiving. There may be a great sale with a great value for the CE Shop as opposed to Kaplan or any of the other ones that I mentioned. But at the time I went through to choose my school, I chose Kaplan. And why I chose Kaplan is mainly because for the price, there was a great value. And the biggest thing for me was the practice tests and the instruction. There were videos, I could create my own flashcards, I could create my own quizzes. They would give me national exam prep exams, state prep exams. They went through everything. But most importantly, it was an accredited school with the Arkansas Real Estate Commission. So when I chose Kaplan, I actually looked for the value. Now, saying that, it really, once I got into it, was a little more heavy than I like. There was heavy information, which for some people, that's good. I don't know about the CE Shop. It seemed to be a little more laid back. It seemed to be a little more easier to navigate. I'm not sure. I never got into it to see. But I think if I had it to do over, I would have chosen to go through the CE shop to do my education and my coursework. But that may be an option. I don't know yet. That may be an option that I can do that to get my continuing education. I'm not sure if I have to continue with Kaplan, although I can, or if I can skip over and do a different school for my post-licensing education. Now, again, some things to watch out for. Make sure it is state approved. I've said that over and over. Make sure that there is going to be support. If you need help, make sure that you have a way to reach out to these folks and be able to interact with them, and be cautious of the very cheap models out there. There's going to be people that are going to be really cheap. Maybe they're accredited, maybe they're not, but they're going to be too good to be true. Don't get scammed and don't get robbed when taking your coursework. It's not that serious, because 60 hours at the end of the day is really not that much. Make sure that the school that you offer does offer those practice exams, because I can tell you from experience, those are very important. Make sure that there's a refund policy. Look out for those that say the no refund policy. Just be careful. Don't get scammed. Make sure that the content is up to date. Ask questions if you can. Find out all the information that you can. You don't want to be learning material that is outdated when the laws have changed, and you think that you're going to go in there and ace a test when you don't know what the current laws are, because you're studying something from 1950 rather than 2025. So be careful on that, and be aware of those schools that do not have instructor support. With Kaplan, there were live Zoom classes with a teacher that I could attend at certain times of the day. There was support that I could reach out to if I needed help. There were things in place that could help me. So be careful if there's no instructor support, and be careful for those that don't offer the post-licensing or CE options. So you've heard which one I chose. Kaplan is the one that I went with over the CE shop, mainly because of the value. That's Kaplan Real Estate Education. On the next video, I may show you, I still have my login and all those things. I may be able to show you on the computer what they look like, what some of the questions look like, what some of the exam questions look like, and help you there, because quite frankly, I'll tell you that it was a lot of information, but it was good. I actually needed it, but I think sometimes it was a little heavy for my style of learning. So let me just give you some final advice. Make sure that you take this part of your journey seriously when you get to the education. I know that a lot of things, there were times in my education journey where I would click through just to get to the questions at the end, because I learned better by having to process the questions and the answers. And then if I get one wrong, I see what I missed, and I try to retain that knowledge by seeing what the right answer is as opposed to the one I put. We all learn differently. Some of you may read every single word and obtain it. Some of you may want to write down a lot. I took notes as well. I can show you my notebook on the next episode as we look at what Kaplan looked like online. But do take it seriously, because it matters. You will see many of the things that you learn on the exams. I can tell you that. Again, I've already taken my exams, but we're going to save that video for a minute, and we'll talk about the exams and kind of what happened with me. But also, some advice I'd give you is to match the school to your lifestyle. If you can't go sit in person, maybe you've got 2 or 3 kids, or maybe even 1 kid. We know that kids in general, however many you have, keep us busy. Maybe you have a job, you work nights, you work days, you can't get there, whatever the case may be. You have other responsibilities and obligations. You can't go in public. Not in public, but in person. Find you a school online that works at your pace, because I can tell you, I logged on at midnight, I logged on at 4 a.m., I logged on at 3 p.m. Any time of the day that I felt like I was ready to work on my coursework, I was able to log on and do just that. Now, something I'm learning, some more advice, is the exam is only the beginning. It's opening the gate. There's so much to learn even after the exams. I'm learning that you need to be able to find a brokerage that is going to actually have people to come alongside and help you. That's going to be very important as we talk about why I chose the brokerage that I did. Again, I'm still waiting on my license to come in from the Arkansas Real Estate Commission. Not a real real estate agent yet, but it's coming. And I've already signed with my broker, and I want to tell you that it's just the beginning. Get this out of the way, though. Get your schooling done on your time. Get those exams done. Many states only give you a certain amount of time to take those exams after you finish your coursework. So just be careful and make sure you follow all those guidelines for your specific state. And I wish you the best. I hope that you are excited about the journey, if that's something that you're doing and a part of now. But as we close this video, I would like to just invite you to comment on this video. If you are a realtor, I would love to know what state you're in, how the process worked for you when you were choosing a school. How did your schooling go? Was it good? What did you like about it? What did you not like about it? And I'd love to hear the different opinions. I know this channel is small right now, but hopefully by God's grace we'll get it up and be able to interact with a bunch of realtors all over the United States. So looking forward to that. I invite you to like, share, comment, and even subscribe. You're not going to hear me say that a lot. I'm not going to be the guy that begs for subscribes and likes and views and all those things. I'm just doing this because I enjoy it. I enjoy this, and if I can help someone and just bring a little light to their life, then that's all that matters. So thank you for listening, and until the next one, God bless.